Shalom. First, I want to start by giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakah Kadash. Double honors to the apostles, elders, bishops, the great millstones from whom I learned this truth. Shalom to the 144,000 elect. I am Maya Allah, and I'm continuing on with the lesson. And I guess this will be part 7 of how do I know that I'm a Hebrew Israelite, or how do we know? When I say we, I mean the so-called blacks, Latinos, and American Indians, the natives of this land. And when we last finished off, we were right around Genesis 25, and we were beginning to see the birth of both Abraham, Shalakia, see the birth of Jacob and Esau. And we kind of touched a bit upon Esau, getting a description of Esau. We found out that he was born red and hairy. We found out a few more characteristics. Esau would come to be the progenitor of the Edomites. And we talked a little bit about Mount Seir. And I just wanted to go back and touch on Mount Seir because I said that we read a definition of Seir. And I'm reading from the Zondervan Compact Bible Dictionary. And Seir, it says Seir, the land and the mount. And it gives, in the Zondervan Compact Bible Dictionary, it gives two views. One view was the Wadi Sayaga with the Wadi Musa torrent bed and the Kupta range in the distance. It says below the great rock El Bayara, on which the Edomite capital stood. At Petra, on which the Edomite capital stood. So I'm going to show you a quick picture of that. Let me back this up so you can get a little idea of the picture I'm showing you. But the picture that I really wanted to show you was of Petra, because it gives us another clue of this people called the Edomites, for which Esau is the progenitor of. So I wanted to take a look at Petra. There's a design that's put on in the rocks, in the cliffs of Edom. And you can look at the architecture. And it resembles architecture that we see today. So give me a minute here just to pull that up for you. And it's kind of a sunny day. I don't know if you can really see that as I'm showing this off my phone. See if I can get a better picture. Gives you an idea. You see those columns? Kind of reminds you of some structures in Washington, D.C. All right. But I just want to go back a little bit, and I'm going to go back into Genesis chapter 25. And we're probably going to do a little bit more reading today than I did last time on the last video in the actual chapters of Genesis. I want to just go ahead and recap, go back on chapter 25, and I'm going to read verses 27 through 34. And it says, "At the first came out red all over, like a hairy garment, and they called his name Esau. And after that came his brother out, and his hand took hold on Esau's heel, and his name was called Jacob. And Isaac was 80 years old when she bare them." Verse 27 says, "And the boys grew, and Esau was a cunning hunter, a man of the field. And Jacob was a plain man, dwelling in tents." Now I also want you to pay attention to the fact that when Esau came out, there was no description given of him. And that's important to know why. It's because Jacob came out and he looked like everybody else that was on the earth at this time. Dark complected man. And at verse 28 it says, "And Isaac loved Esau because he did eat of his venison, but Rebekah loved Jacob." I want you to remember that. That's verse 28, chapter 25. It says, "And Isaac loved Esau because he did eat of his venison, but Rebekah loved Jacob." So Isaac loved Esau. And it was for a reason that was kind of worldly. He liked the way that he was a hunter, that he can go out and get venison and cook it and bring him venison. So he liked the way that venison tastes. But Rebekah loved Jacob. Verse 29 says, "And Jacob sod pottage, and Esau came from the field and was faint." So I want to see what that word sod means. And I'm looking in the blue letter. Bear with me because my phone doesn't want to. All right, there we go. It says, "And Jacob sod pottage, and Esau came from the field and was faint." So I just want to look up that word sod. And then the blue letter is H2102. It says to boil, or boil up, seethe, or even act proudly, act presumptuously, act rebelliously, be presumptuous, be arrogant, be rebellious or proud. All right. And verse 30 says, "And Esau said to Jacob, Feed me, I pray thee, with that same red pottage, for I am faint." Therefore was his name called Edom. So they're trying to say that he was called Edom because of the red pottage. But it just explained to you in previous verses that he came out red and hairy all over, which is the reason why he was called Esau or Edom. And it just meant that this pottage had not completely been cooked. It was half done, therefore the meat that was in it was red. Now there's another clue for you there, because there's a people who love to eat their steaks with blood coming out. Half done. Verse 31, and Jacob said, I lost my page here. All right. It says, and Jacob said, sell me this day thy birthright. And Esau said, behold, I am at the point to die. And what profit shall this birthright do to me? So Esau was only concerned at this point about filling his belly, because he was just thinking about fast food and thinking about himself. And he didn't really care about the birthright. So he was just thinking about how he could feed his belly at this time, being worldly. And Esau said, behold, I am at the point to die, and what profit shall this birthright do to me? Verse 33, and Jacob said, swear to me this day. And he sware unto him, and he sold his birthright unto Jacob. And Jacob gave Esau bread and pottage of lentils, and he did eat and drink, and rose up and went his way. Thus Esau despised his birthright. So like I said, he didn't care about his birthright. And as you can see, there was no trickery involved. Because as we read earlier, we read that Jacob tricked Esau out of his birthright. And I wanted to make sure that I read that to you. There was no trickery involved. Esau knew full well what he was doing. He just didn't care enough to be a little bit more patient. He could have possibly had some of the pottage after Jacob had finished cooking it, but he didn't care. He wanted it right at that point. And I'm going to go over to chapter 27. And I probably will read a lot of this. Well, I will read a lot of this because this is all these chapters are important, but this gives you a good idea of what's taking place. And I'm going to start at chapter 27, verse 1. It says, and it came to pass that when Isaac was old and his eyes were dim, so that he could not see, he called Esau his eldest son and said unto him, my son. And he said unto him, behold, here I am. So we can see at this point, Isaac, because of age, his eyes were going bad and he couldn't see very well. And he said, behold now, I am old, and I know not the day of my death. Now therefore, take, I pray thee, thy weapons, thy quiver, and thy bow, and go out to the field, and take me some venison. So because Esau was a hunter, he told him to take his weapons out. That's another clue for you. Having these weapons, who are the inventor of these weapons? Verse 4, and make me savory meat such as I love, and bring it to me, that I may eat, that my soul may bless thee before I die. And Rebekah heard when Isaac spoke to Esau his son. And Esau went to the field to hunt for venison and to bring it. And Rebekah spake unto Jacob her son, saying, Behold, I heard thy father speak unto Esau thy brother, saying, Bring me venison, and make me savory meat, that I may eat and bless thee before the Lord before my death. Now therefore, my son, obey my voice according to that which I command thee. Go now to the flock, and fetch me from thence 2 good kids of the goats, and I will make them savory meat for thy father, such as he loveth. Now Rebekah was doing this because she already knew. The father had already come to her and told her about the blessing that was in her womb, that there were 2 nature of people in her womb. And she knew that the elder would serve the younger. And normally the birthright would go to the elder, but she knew that that's not where the covenant would go. And he would not be, that Esau would not be the one to be blessed with this covenant, and that it was to be Jacob, for the Lord had said so. Verse 11 says, And Jacob said to Rebekah his mother, Behold, Esau my brother is a hairy man, and I am a smooth man. My father peradventure will fill me. Peradventure just says that he imagines that his father would fill him. And I shall seem to him as a deceiver, and I shall bring a curse upon me, and not a blessing. And his mother said unto him, Upon me be thy curse, my son. Only obey my voice, and go fetch me them. And he went and fetched and brought them to his mother. And his mother made savory meat, such as his father loved. And Rebekah took goodly raiment of her eldest son Esau, which were with her in the house, and put them upon Jacob her younger son. And she put the skins of the kids of the goats upon his hands and upon the smooth of his neck. And she gave the savory meat and the bread which she had prepared into the hand of her son Jacob. And he came unto his father and said, My father. And he said, Here I am. Who art thou, my son? And Jacob said unto his father, I am Esau, thy firstborn. I have done according as thou badest me. Arise, I pray thee, sit and eat of my venison, that thy soul may bless me. And Isaac said unto his son, How is it that thou hast found it so quickly, my son? And he said, Because the Lord thy power brought it to me. And Isaac said unto Jacob, Come near, I pray thee, that I may feel thee, my son, whether thou be my very son Esau or not. Now I'm going to stop there just a minute, because this might seem like he's being deceptive to his father Isaac. But this is only to be according to what was to be according to Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai. It was to be this way, and this is the way the covenant was supposed to go. Verse 22, And Jacob went near unto Isaac his father, and he felt him and said, The voice is Jacob's voice, but the hands are the hands of Esau. And I pray that you can hear this. I know it's kind of windy. Let's see if I can block the wind a little bit. Verse 23 says, And he discerned him not, because his hands were hairy as his brother Esau's hands. So he blessed him. And he said, Art thou my very son Esau? And he said, I am. And he said, Bring it near to me, and I will eat of my son's venison, that my soul may bless thee. and he brought it near to him, and he did eat. And he brought him wine, and he drank. And his father Isaac said unto him, Come near now, and kiss me, my son. So Isaac did this in an effort so that he could smell him, but I'll read on and you'll see that. And he came near and kissed him, and he smelled the smell of his raiment, and blessed him and said, See, the smell of my son is as the smell of a field, which the Lord hath blessed. Therefore, Yahweh Bahashem Yahushai gave thee the dew of heaven, and the fatness of the earth, and plenty of corn and wine. Let people serve thee, and nations bow down to thee. Be Lord over thy brethren, and let thy mother's sons bow down to thee. Cursed be every one that curseth thee, and blessed be he that blesseth thee. And it came to pass soon as Isaac had made an end of the blessing Jacob, and Jacob was yet scarce gone from the presence of Isaac his father, that Esau his brother came in from his hunting. And he also had made savory meat, and brought it unto his father, and said unto his father, Let my father arise and eat of his son's venison, that thy soul may bless me. And Isaac his father said unto him, Who art thou? And he said, I am thy son, thy firstborn, Esau. And Isaac trembled very exceedingly, and said, Who? Where is he that hath taken venison and brought it me? And I have eaten of all before thou camest, and have blessed him. Yea, and he shall be blessed. So he had given the blessing to Jacob unknowingly. And when Esau heard the words of his father, he cried with a great and exceeding bitter cry, and said unto his father, Bless me, even me also, O my father. And he said, Thy brother came with subtlety, and hath taken away thy blessing. Now I'm going to stop there, and I want to read the definition of that word subtlety. This is according to the Blue Letter. And it's H4820. The word is mirma. And I'll let you hear a pronunciation. Pray that you can hear that.
Strong's H4820. Mirma. Mirma.
And it says deceit or treachery. All right, so Esau called his brother Jacob. Said he came with subtlety, and have taken away thy blessing. And he said, Is not he rightly named Jacob? For he hath supplanted me these 2 times. He took away my birthright, and behold, now he hath taken away my blessing. And he said, Hast thou not reserved a blessing for me? So even though he tried to say he tricked him and took away the birthright, he had given away that birthright to Jacob. In verse 37, it says, and Isaac answered and said unto Esau, behold, I have made him thy lord, and all his brethren have I given to him for servants, and with corn and wine I have sustained him. And what shall I do now unto thee, my son? And Esau said unto his father, hast thou but one blessing, my father? Bless me, even me also, O my father. And Esau lifted up his voice and wept. And Isaac his father answered and said unto him, behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth, and of the dew of heaven from above. Verse 40 says, and by the sword shalt thou live, and shalt serve thy brother. And it shall come to pass, when thou shalt have the dominion, that thou shalt break his yoke from off thy neck. And I just want to stop right there, and I have a precept for that. I want to go over, because it says he was being blessed with the sword. I want to go over to Revelation chapter 6 and verse 4. And this kind of goes into the future. And the descendants of Esau, Edom, the Edomites. It says, and there went out another horse that was red. That red horse being the Edomites. And power was given to him that sat thereon to take peace from the earth, and that they should kill one another. And there was given unto him a great sword. So Esau being blessed with the sword, his descendants to this day are blessed with the sword. And I just want to give you provide another clue of who this people are. And you should know who this people are by now. And it says, and power was given to him that sat thereon to take peace from the earth, and that they should kill one another. If that doesn't describe the so-called white man of this world today, then I don't know who it could be. And I'm going to continue on back into Genesis 27, verse 41. And Esau hated Jacob because of the blessing wherewith his father blessed him. And Esau said in his heart, the days of mourning for my father are at hand. Then will I slay my brother Jacob. So you can get an understanding of why the Edomites are blessed with that sword today and go about the earth killing as they do. Because it's in their nature. It is what they were blessed with. They were blessed with that sword. Verse 42. And these words of Esau, her elder son, were told to Rebekah. And she sent and called Jacob, her younger son, and said unto him, behold, thy brother Esau, as touching thee, doth comfort himself, purposing to kill thee. Now therefore, my son, obey my voice and arise. Flee thou to Laban, my brother, to Haran, and tarry with him a few days until thy brother's fury turn away, until thy brother's anger turn away from thee, and he forget that which thou hast done to him. Then I will send and fetch thee from thence. Why should I be deprived also of you both in one day? And Rebekah said to Isaac, I am weary of my life because of the daughters of Heth. If Jacob take a wife of the daughters of Heth, such as these which are the daughters of the land, what good shall my life do me? I just wanted to read that whole chapter because I think it's very important that we bring out exactly the nature of Esau, and we see because that it's kind of windy out here today, and we see that because Esau is seeking to kill his brother Jacob, that Rebekah made a plan for him to go to her brother Laban and wait until Esau's anger subsides. So I'm going to go ahead and stop there. I pray that this has been edifying. I'm going to give all praise and honor and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakah HaKadosh. Shalom.